But that lady, that new press secretary, she's
that video, dude.
She's a gangster. I mean, they're prepared. And you know why they're prepared? Because they're trying to play gotcha.
Yep.
So she played gotcha with them. She checkmated them.
She came in there with that Elon Musk flamethrower.
Play that video.
Watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
Oh, it finally went down. Karoline Leavitt just unleashed a $500 million defamation smackdown on The View, and the media circus is already spinning like it's Black Friday at Tiffany's. This rising political powerhouse, known for defending free speech like her life depends on it, isn't just clapping back. She's launching a full-on legal missile that's got liberal pundits gasping like someone snatched their oat milk lattes mid-sip.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah. I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Yep, you heard right. $500 million. Why? Because when a national talk show decides to drag someone's name to the mud with the volume cranked up to 100, they better be ready for the legal aftershocks. Karoline's making one thing crystal clear. If you come swinging with lies, you better expect a hit back that shakes the studio walls. And love her or hate her, you can't deny she's got guts. She's not just going after sound bites. She's exposing what she claims is a full-blown smear machine.
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that. And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC.
The View used to be about conversation, but lately it's more like a verbal wrestling match, with everyone tag teaming the same target. And guess what? Karoline's not here to play defense. She's coming with names, timestamps, and a whole lot of receipts. If backing Trump or speaking your mind makes you a villain in their eyes, Karoline's showing the world what happens when that so-called villain fights back.
But that lady, that new press secretary, she's a gangster.
That video, dude.
She's a gangster. Have you seen that video?
You've never
Jamie?
seen someone more prepared for a question in your life, Jamie.
Have you seen that?
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
Small point on that. Not the big point, but small point. She was so prepared for
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, she's supposed to be prepared.
That's why I
Jamie.
said you've never seen someone
You know
more
why?
prepared.
For that.
They're
for that
prepared.
specific.
With lawyers. Then came Joe Rogan, bald philosopher of the internet, master of the mic, and certified black belt in calling out nonsense from the comfort of his podcast throne, where actual nuance still breathes. He clocked the media frenzy for exactly what it was. Another tired hit job from legacy outlets scrambling to stay relevant by dragging anyone who doesn't march to their tune. While the ladies of The View clutched their oversized mugs and dished out the word dangerous, like it was candy on Halloween, Rogan wasn't buying it. Nope. He didn't need 5 co-hosts or a live studio to make sense of it all. Just one mic, some raw logic, and maybe a bite of elk jerky to keep it real. His message, clear as daylight. This lawsuit ain't about being soft. It's about standing up. It's saying loud and clear. You don't get to wreck someone's name on national TV just because your ratings are slipping. That's not journalism. That's drive-by defamation with a glam team.
If you heard that type of violent, enticing rhetoric from our side of the aisle, from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, I think there would be a lot more outrage in this room today. It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made by these Democrat leaders, and frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about.
So what exactly lit the match? A segment with The View's resident truth tellers, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, and some poor and turned temp host, unleashed a shady roast session on Karoline Leavitt. But here's the kicker. They weren't debating her policies or asking tough questions. Nah. They were casually dragging her through the mud for her political background and daring to have real-world experience. No facts. No challenge. Just backhanded shade served with side of fake giggles. That's not commentary. That's slander with a smile. And Joe Rogan? He saw right through it and called it out loud, clear, and unapologetic. Somehow, this whole mess gets a free pass just because it's wrapped in studio lights, live laughter, and a panel of folks who confuse noise for knowledge.
So Joy Behar went after Joe Rogan on The View, and he fired back spectacularly.
You're worried about losing your job, and you're worried about podcasts taking over, and who's the source of news, and we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us, and he won, and this is and Joe Rogan believes in dragons.
Joy Behar, queen of yelling over facts, didn't waste a second. She slapped the label dangerous on Karoline like she was calling out a threat to national security. Dangerous for what exactly? For speaking in complete sentences? For having an opinion that doesn't come straight from a group chat full of political echo chambers? If standing firm in your beliefs and knowing how to actually reference the Constitution is considered a red flag now, then we've officially hit clown world levels of political discourse. Then there's Whoopi, serving up her usual mix of eye rolls, smug silence, and off-brand wisdom that sounds like it was pulled from a dream journal in an overpriced yoga class. She perfected the art of saying a whole lot of nothing with confidence.
They're prepared. And you know why they're prepared? Because they're trying to play gotcha.
Yep.
So she played gotcha with them. She checkmated them.
She came in there with that fucking Elon Musk flamethrower.
Play that video. Play that.
And Sunny Hostin? She brushed off that law degree just long enough to swing it like a plastic sword, throwing around legal takes that felt less courtroom and more BuzzFeed, quiz gone wrong. That's when Karoline had enough. She didn't rant. She didn't retreat. She walked straight into the legal arena and said, let's settle this properly. No hashtags, no dramatics, just a hard reality check for media elites who think talking over someone makes them the moral authority. Joe Rogan saw it crystal clear. This isn't just a lawsuit. It's a culture shift. It's someone daring to call out a system that's been untouchable for way too long. He didn't sugarcoat it. He called The View exactly what it's turned into, a chaotic bunch of loud opinions and zero receipts. Let's be real. Watching that panel try to decode politics is like handing toddlers a crayon set and telling them to redraw the world map. It's messy, it's loud, and somehow they think they're solving world peace with juice boxes and sass.
You ask people, even in the legacy media, even the Trump haters, they will tell you the approach has been much different. Not just for me, but the entire White House. Oh, absolutely. They come in my office every day and they'll admit that off the record. Oh. Maybe not on the record, but they will say they appreciate the access and the transparency and the preparation that goes into my briefings and everybody on our team, by the way, who goes out to the camp.
Meanwhile, as Karoline's legal team was probably drafting their $500 million lawsuit with Comic Sans just to add insult to injury, Joe Rogan was somewhere in the studio cracking up, probably mid-rep, knocking over a kettlebell, and spilling protein powder from the sheer absurdity of it all.
Very strange show, but it's fun to watch. It's just fun to watch them.
It's good entertainment.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Well, they're just, it's interesting because I think Sunny is very intelligent, but she's ideologically captured.
Right.
That's sort of, I think the other ones, there's a couple of the other ones, don't have to name any names, who are just very dull-minded. But I think Sunny's not one of them. I think she's smart. But
he didn't just watch the drama unfold. He framed it like a tragic comedy. According to Rogan, this wasn't journalism. It was Shakespeare in a courtroom, except swap the town for hashtags and the truth for Twitter threads. And he wasn't shy about it either. He straight up applauded Karoline for throwing legal hands at what he called the View's hate parade. Let's be honest, Karoline's been clapping back at the woke mob for years. But this wasn't some social media tantrum. This was a calculated move, not hypocrisy. Strategy. Because if the View can serve it sizzling hot every morning, they better be ready when someone fires back with receipts and a legal squad. Rogan made it clear, respect. Then, in true Rogan style, he torched the whole format of The View like it was open mic night at a roast battle. His words? Brutal.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country. They're foreign adversaries who are infiltrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way. But so when you see something that really pisses you off, you should triple check that one.
Yeah. But I think that's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
we're checked by everybody.
Yeah. I mean, if we're wrong, we have, the legal note here.
The human legal.
But we went from Walter Cronkite, basically, to this guy Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons. He believes in dragons.
Did you triple source that?
Yes, I.
This is what happens when daytime TV crashes into a menopause convention, and no one brings a single fact to the table. He ripped into their formula. yell over guests, cry foul when challenged, then spin it like Survival when someone dares to push back. According to Rogan, The View is basically what you get if the Mean Girls Never Grew Up got syndicated and built a set instead of cafeteria table. From Rhonda to DeSantis to anyone bold enough to wear a red hat near a Whole Foods, The View has made it crystal clear they got no love for voices outside their brunch bubble. If Joy Behar doesn't vibe with your opinion, buckle up, because in her world, you're either brainwashed, evil, or seconds away from getting canceled before the next commercial break. That's The View's version of political debate. Misty eyes, scented candles, and yelling for federal investigations like it's Oprah giving out subpoenas. Now Joe Rogan, total opposite vibe.
It is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching and hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies infested hen house.
He's basically The View's shadow twin. Same media space, whole different energy. This is a guy who will invite Bernie Sanders and Alex Jones to the same cookout, toss them both a mic, and then sit back chomping on elk jerky while the rest of the world screams into their phones about it. No script, no panic, just pure chaotic freedom of thought. He's the adult in the room, even if that room's a podcast studio filled with floating theories about aliens, MMA breakdowns, and government conspiracies. So when Karoline decided to sue The View, Rogan didn't blink.
Yes. Yes.
And that's their audience.
Yes. Well, their audience is not really their audience. Their audience is a group of people they bring in to watch television shows. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen audiences before for TV shows, but a lot of them are paid. They're paid to be there. So, because they have to guarantee that there's going to be people there. So there's services that you hire. And when a show gets really, really popular, you know, like Letterman or something like that, obviously it has its own fan base.
Right.
Those people will try to get tickets before anybody else does. And in that case, they probably don't need to use a service anymore. They just get actual fans. But arguably, like, the fans, the real fans of The View that are like, oh, these ladies are on point. Most of those people can't leave the house. Like, they're probably immobile.
Right.
He didn't clutch pearls. He laughed, then clapped. Because deep down, everyone watching knew it was about time somebody hit pause on the madness. Let's not kid ourselves. The View ain't PBS. It's not journalism. It's Judge Judy with hot flashes and high blood pressure. It's political improv where every opinion outside their bubble gets treated like an exorcism candidate. Karoline showed up to that panel knowing exactly what was waiting. Smug smirks, fake curiosity, and questions laced with gotcha bait. But instead of playing along, she flipped the whole setup on its head. She didn't shout. She didn't storm off. She took notes, then hit them with a legal plot twist no one saw coming. That lawsuit, it wasn't a meltdown. It was a power move. A bold, calculated, potentially very profitable power move that's now got the whole industry shaking in their mud-clutching boots. Joe Rogan got immediately. This lawsuit, it wasn't about setting some legal precedent. It was about presence. It was about making noise, grabbing headlines, and stepping into media ring like it's UFC fight night. And Karoline Leavitt, she didn't show up with just a mic. She came swinging with brass knuckles forged out of subpoenas. And Rogan, he didn't just get the move, he respected it. Because he's been watching The View play this game for years. They toss jabs like it's sport, shady digs, character slams, cheap shots from behind the cozy curtain of daytime TV. But the second someone throws a punch harder than a tweet, suddenly it's all gasps and pearl clutching. Criticize them? Oh, that's misogyny. Don't cheer them on? Censorship. Quote, a basic fact without flinching. Suddenly they're Joan of Arc in full media armor. But Karoline? She didn't show up with sass or a viral soundbite. She rolled in with legal documents and said, let's play fair on paper.
Whoopi Goldberg's, like, did you see what she did to that Staten Island bakery?
Yeah. No.
Crazy.
What?
So Staten Island Bakery, their boiler went down, and she placed an order of cupcakes for her birthday. And they couldn't
hold
order.
on. I can't imagine yet how this would go bad. Okay, go ahead.
So she places this order. They say, we can't promise you that we can do this because our boiler is down, so we can't fulfill this order. And so then the next day the boiler's back up. She has someone else call the same bakery and they get the order in because now the boiler's up. She claims the reason why they didn't take her order is because they didn't like her politics. And so she says this on The View. So then the bakery has a press conference where they say, we've been in business for 150 years. This is not what happened at all. We don't discriminate against anybody regardless of anything. We just had a problem with our boiler, and she's singling out a family-run business, and then there's a line around the block for the bakery.
And just like that, The View hit panic mode. Collective fainting couch vibes, reaching for metaphorical smelling salts like a soap opera cast in full meltdown. You'd think Karoline walked into the studio waving the Constitution like a lightsaber and demanding trial by combat. Rogan didn't just laugh. He endorsed the chaos. Because to him, this was justice with a twist. If The View can sit around every morning treating disagreement like betrayal and blowing mild pushback into apocalyptic drama, then guess what? When that drama finally boomerangs back in legal form, they don't get to play victim. In Rogan's world, that's not cruelty. It's karma. And it came dressed in a power suit with a legal team on speed dial. Let's be real. The View still hasn't figured out if it wants to be a morning show or a group therapy circle for burned out influencers who miss their TikTok moment. Half the time, it feels like a wellness retreat gone off the rails. Everyone's dishing out passive-aggressive affirmations, fanning themselves mid-rant, and having full-blown meltdowns over who dare to vote differently. And Joe's just chilling, sipping his mushroom tea like he's watching the final round of the Drama Olympics. He's not sweating it. He's treating the whole thing like a live-stream car crash. Equal parts chaos and comedy. While The View spirals into PR disaster mode, Karoline's sitting pretty. She might not walk away with the full $500 million, but she already owns the storyline. Rogan sees the play. Karoline's turning herself into the woman who took a swing at the daytime TV Hydra and lived. Meanwhile, the hosts are out here sounding like a high school drama club trying to improvise their way onto CNN. Every time they play the victim card, they just prove her point, and Rogan's too. And here's the kicker. Rogan's not mad the lawsuit happened. He's mad it didn't happen years ago. Because every time these hosts get challenged and scream attack, they don't come off strong. They come off shaky. They're exposing their own fragility, one dramatic gasp at a time. And Rogan? He's the king of turning ridiculous moments into revenue. Front row seat, Spotify deal in hand, and zero stress.